Well, Disabled Sports Eastern Sierra hosted Operation Mountain Freedom at Mammoth Mountain last week. Sierra Media's Rob Gill filed this story.
So this is our huge Wounded Warrior Week called Operation Mountain Freedom, and we are so proud to have so many wounded warriors and veterans, their families and staff here visiting us and learning how to excel with whatever body parts they're missing or whatever they're dealing with. They're out on the mountain having a great time. So we have 40 of these people with us, our wounded warriors and their guests, and they're from all over the United States. We have a big contingency from Camp Pendleton, the Wounded Warrior Battalion West down in San Diego, also from Balboa Naval Medical Hospital, and then the rest are veterans from all over the country. We have them from New York, New Jersey, Florida. They've come from all over. We fly them in. All of these wounded warriors, from the moment they open their door to leave their home or their rehab or their hospital to when they open it to go back, everything is paid for. Their flights, their food, their lodging, graciously donated by the Westin Monashee. Everything is covered, so it's really a fabulous event. The townspeople, Mammoth Mountain ski area, June Mountain, everybody was represented here, from the police, the firemen, everyone was here. It was absolutely fabulous. And it's our sign of respect and gratitude for their service that they have given to us. And it's a very moving event that we put on every year. So this will be our 9th year that we've done this, and today the weather was perfect, and the crowd that came out, it was the biggest crowd that were the Arch of Honor, and it was really fabulous. So they're skiing, alpine skiing, and that's any kind of adaptive equipment that it might need. Mono skis, bi-skis, outriggers, ski bikes. They're also snowboarding. They have been cross-country skiing up at Tamarack, and tomorrow they're going to go today they're going to go to Woolies Tube Park. Well, we've actually seen this really turn people's lives around, in that they all of a sudden have some newfound confidence and self-esteem because, wow, they can go out and ski. They can go out and do things that they never thought were going to be possible again. And so you just see their heads held higher and a bigger smile on their face. We've seen people go from here and get into the Paralympics. One became an adaptive instructor. We see all sorts of ways that this affects people's lives very positively. This dog here, her name is Guess, and she's in training by Canine Companions for Independence, and the head trainer is right here, Todd Young, and they come up every one of our Wounded Warrior programs. And the amazing thing is, this organization, which is a national organization with 6 different locations around the country, they come up and they offer the Wounded Warriors a free service dog that would be trained specifically for their needs. Each one of these dogs has been trained to the tune of $60,000, and then they go through a 2-week training period of learning how to tell the dog its commands and get to know the dog itself. So it's a fabulous, fabulous offer that Canine Companions for Independence gives each and every one of these wounded warriors. So we keep on moving forward with our efforts to get the National Wounded Warrior Center built here in Mammoth. We're so excited about moving forward and getting the word out and getting more and more people involved. So if you want to be involved in seeing this happen, please contact us at Disabled Sports. Our number is 760-934-0791, and we'd love to tell you more about what's happening.
All right, great stuff all the way around. Thank you for that. Well, Deb Murphy filed this story for Sierra Wave Media. Don D. Rossi turned down the settlement offer of 8 years in state prison that was made last Wednesday by Inyo County District Attorney Tom Hardy. Don D. Rossi is on trial for allegedly embezzling $1.5 million from the Inyo County Department of Health and Human Services Public Assistance Program. Now, that trial has now been continued until February 22nd. This is allowing appointed Judge Philip Argento time to research a legal issue that was brought up last Thursday morning. Now, DA Hardy and defense attorney David Evans agreed to a stipulation, but Don D. Rossi did not agree. The legal issue is whether a stipulation could be accepted by the court if both attorneys agreed, but the defendant did not. The judge told the court he had run into a similar issue once in the last 30 years, and he needed time to do the legal research. Hardy read portions of the stipulation into the court record, identifying 13 individuals living either out of the area or out of state. The stipulation is that those alleged victims did not receive assistance from, nor did they live in Inyo County during the time frame the crimes are alleged to have been committed. Now, if Judge Argento rules the defendant has to agree, DA Hardy will have to make arrangements to call those witnesses. While arranging to bring in witnesses, Hardy said, we may need more time beyond that February 22nd trial. Hardy also withdrew the settlement offer. Well, on Sunday, Mono County Sheriff's Dispatch received a radio transmission of a robbery in progress at a Shell station presumed to be in Mono County. Press release from the Mono County Sheriff's Department says the person broadcasting stated he had one suspect at gunpoint. However, he did not identify himself, nor did he respond to repeated requests for Mono County Dispatch for identification and more detailed information. Based upon the background noise, the press release notes the person was with a group or at a party setting. This radio transmission was broadcast on the public safety radio system on a restricted access channel. Now, fearing that a first responder, either on or off duty, was in a life-threatening situation, law enforcement officers were dispatched to gas stations throughout Mono County, Mammoth Lakes, and into Inyo County and Bishop. Deputies and officers checked every Shell gas station and other gas stations and found no emergency existed. Now, the Mono County Sheriff's Office has initiated a crime report for the false report of an emergency under California Penal Code Section 148.3, seeking the public's help in identifying the perpetrator of this crime. The press release notes that falsely reporting an emergency takes law enforcement officers away from other enforcement activities and endangers the lives of the public and first responders. That press release also states that the Mono County Sheriff's Department does not take this crime lightly and does intend to pursue criminal charges against the person or persons responsible. Now, we have an audio transcript of that. Listen to this audio, and if you recognize the voice, you're asked to contact the Mono County Sheriff's Department.
Mono 1. Mono 1, we have a 211 at the Shell. I got one at gunpoint. Mono 1. Mono 1, we have a 211 at the Shell. I got one at gunpoint.
Again, if you recognize that voice, please contact the Mono County Sheriff's Department, 760-932-7549, or you can report anonymously on the website monosheriff.org. And last Thursday, the Mono County Sheriff's Office received calls from concerned parents regarding threats to students and staff at Colville High School from a fellow student. Now, the Mono County Sheriff's Office, the press release notes, initiated an investigation into the complaints, and during the course of that investigation, the officers developed credible information that threats had been made against students and staff, and were provided a timeline when the threats would be carried out. Now, based on the findings of the preliminary investigation, a male juvenile was interviewed and was determined to be the suspect in the threats against the students and staff. The male juvenile was detained and transported to Juvenile Hall in Independence. None of the students or staff were physically harmed, as the suspect was detained prior to the implementation of the threats. Mono County Sheriff's Office is not releasing the name of the student victims, staff victims, or the suspect. Well, the Superior Court of California for Mono County press release says not able to appoint a civil grand jury for 2015-2016. The press release states, unfortunately, a number of persons who either accepted appointment or indicated an interest in being appointed to the grand jury declined to be on that grand jury. Press release says it's not unusual for small counties such as Mono County to not have a grand jury due to the inability to find a sufficient number of qualified community members willing to be appointed. Mono County Superior Court will be recruiting for the 2016-2017 grand jury starting in May. Mono County asked for the public's help and finally qualified members of the community willing to serve on the grand jury. Now, if you are willing or know somebody who is for the 2016-2017 grand jury, or somebody who would make a good member of the grand jury, you are asked to contact Hector Gonzalez, the court executive officer, and you can do that by email, or you can contact Hector Gonzalez at 760-923-2330. And the Mammoth Lakes Police Department seeking to warn the public regarding the prevalence of an aggressive phone scam. Mammoth Lakes Police Department has received multiple reports that involve contact via telephone as an individual posing from Southern California Edison. Now, the caller claims that they will disconnect your power due to non-payment if you don't pay the bill immediately. Caller may also ask for this in the form of a prepaid credit card. Now, obviously, if you receive a phone call from someone claiming to be from Southern California Edison, you should be forewarned that Southern California Edison will never demand immediate payment or ask you to wire money via Western Union or through a prepaid credit card to prevent your electricity from being shut off. SCE will never require you to use specific or single form of payment and does not accept Green Dot or vanilla reloadable debit cards. The press release notes that you should be vigilant in verifying the identity and affiliation of the person contacting you, even if the caller ID indicates the call is from Southern California Edison. Now, you can verify by calling the SCE number at 800-655-4555. Press release notes that scams work best when the victim doesn't have enough time to think things through. The caller may seem believable and rush you. Take your time. Do not panic, and don't pay. There is no situation where you should ever give your payment or personal information to an unsolicited caller. Now, if you have received a call or receive a similar call and don't know whether or not it's a scam, you are asked to notify law enforcement immediately. And again, do not make any payments or concessions prior to doing this. Anyone with information about these phone calls encouraged to contact the Mammoth Lakes Police Department, or to report a tip, you can go onto the MLPD website. We'll be back with more news.